Korea and the first in 4 years after his Mission Impossible Fallout tour in 2018. Welcome back to Korea. You're always welcome in this country. Once again, my sincerest welcome goes to all of you, and you can all take your seats now. I'm gonna go over and join you guys on stage too. As you can see, the hall is full of cameras and members of media, which is another proof of how much expectation there is for this long-awaited Tabcon매버릭. And we're also very much excited to have you guys in person here in Korea, especially more so because this is his 10th official visit to Korea for Tom Cruise. I can assure you that no other Hollywood star has ever been to Korea as many times as he has. And I guess everyone would agree with me that visiting the same country for as many as 10 times is not easy for anyone, let alone for busy Hollywood stars. So on behalf of all my fellow Koreans, I'd like to thank you, Tom, for once again breaking the record and returning to Korea after all the battle against COVID. Tom, how does it feel to be back in Seoul?
It's a privilege to be here. I'm so happy to see everyone. I've missed you all, and I can't wait. As I said earlier, we were talking, I'm going to come back next summer and the next summer, but it's such a beautiful culture, and it's such a privilege to be here. And last night, all of us sat through the premiere and watched the film, and we talked about it when we were making the movie. I kept telling you guys, wait till we go, you know, and sit in the movie theater to watch our film with the audience. It's a very beautiful experience, and I just wanted to say, really, I know everyone's been through such challenging times, and we kept having to push the film, and it was very important to all of us that we be able to come here in person and to have that shared communal experience of watching a movie in a theater together. It was very beautiful after the time we've been through, and very special. So thank you for your warm welcome always, and to all the fans that have come out and all these years have been so gracious with me that I make my films for you, and it's a privilege to be here. Thank you.
We missed you dearly, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here in Seoul. Well, I also would like to take note of the fact that this is the first full-scale international promo tour in the age of pandemic for Korea, which is something we should all be grateful for. So I'd like to hear from the rest of you about how it feels to be all the way here in Seoul. Starting with Jay, perhaps, from left to right.
Yeah, thank you. This is amazing. Like Tom said, it's an honor and a privilege to be here. You know, we made this movie, and when we were finished, all we could think about was like sharing it with the world and being able to travel and take it different places, and to be here and receive so much love and getting to do it with these guys has been absolutely amazing. This is, you guys have created an absolutely memorable experience, so thank you so much for that.
Miles, how does it feel?
It feels really, you know, just echoing everything that Jay said and what Tom said. When you make a movie like this, it's built for international audiences. It traverses any language barrier or cultural barrier, and I think in Korea, and what we've seen, especially, you know, very much recently, is what Korea's contributed in the world stage as far as, you know, with films go and with music and in the entertainment scope. They've, you know, contributed so much. This is my second time in Seoul. I had a film at the Busan Film Festival many years ago, played for this, and we took the train down, and it's a wonderful culture. It's really been such a privilege to be a part of this film with this cast and you know, with everybody involved, and it's been wonderful. I think for a lot of us, this is why we got into this business, to be able to reach fans all around the world.
Well, thank you for the acknowledgement, and thank you so much for returning to Korea. I hope this is not your last.
Me too.
It won't be. All these guys will be coming back many, many times. I know
Yes,
that.
I hope to see you again. And Jerry, how does it feel to travel again to
Well,
Korea?
it feels fantastic, and I'm just thrilled to be here to see all our fans again. This is my second time, and I hope I can come back many, many more times. But I want to thank you for inviting us. It's really an honor and a privilege that you accepted this invitation to bring us here, and that it's exciting to look out in the audience tonight and see all the people and all the press that have shown up to be here, to listen to us talk about a movie that has been on the shelf for 2 years, just waiting for an audience to see it. And the expectations were met by audiences worldwide, and we can't wait for our fans here to see it when it opens here very shortly.
And Glenn, let me hear from you.
I love this country. One of the things I think is so beautiful about this country is it's a country of fans. It's a country that truly celebrates movies, and we love movies the way you love movies, and I believe that Top Gun Maverick is such a celebration of cinema, and the only reason this movie was made was to please fans like you, to give you guys the audience, the thrill of a lifetime, and watching it with you guys last night was something I'll never forget. It was truly spectacular, and the way the audience reacted was they were cheering and crying and all the things that when we were shooting this movie, we hoped people around the world would react like this. And it's only because of fans like you that we got to feel that experience the way it was meant to be felt. So thank you so much, and I'm so happy to be back here.
It's good to have you here. And Koreans are all movie goers, and not just movie goers, they're all movie experts, and we know how to enjoy movies, especially good movies. Well, last but not least, Tarzan, welcome to Korea. How does it feel?
Thank you for having me. It's amazing to be out here. The reason we get into this business is to make films that touches everybody, that goes around the world. You want to make universal films, and I think this is a great one. It's been an amazing experience for myself. I can speak for all of us to have here with you guys, especially after a pandemic. The cinema's back, and this is exciting, and to be able to have a movie night with y'all last night was incredible. So I thank you all for having us here.
Well, once again, welcome everyone to this beautiful and dynamic country where people have been counting days till the opening of this long, long awaited movie. Which is
counting the days to come here, believe me.
Yeah, thank you so much. It finally happened. It's already proving to be a smash hit around the world, and I have a question to Tom and then Jerry. You two joined forces together to make this Top Gun Maverick 36 years after the 80s classic Top Gun was released. First to you, Tom. How do you feel about this huge, unanimous global success, and what do you think are the key factors that contributed to this success?
I think, I remember, look, I've always, in growing up, I wanted to make movies. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to fly airplanes. There's something very unique about the story. It has great drama, big visual action for an audience, a very personal story about honor, about friendship, about family. I think these are values that we can all identify with and connect with. And I think that it's just told in a way that is very entertaining. And it just, something about the world just captures the imagination. It captured my imagination and Jerry's. And so that's why I think, and audiences, they just connect with it.
I was just talking to Tom earlier for an interview, and I said I could not help but tear up at the end of the movie. And I think it's the magic of time and your efforts all together combined. I agree.
I really admire what these guys did, because when they came on, Jerry and I, we sat down and told them what this experience is going to be like. And I don't just make a movie, I make a movie and it takes a long time and a lot of work. And it would not have achieved, the beauty of making films is it is a group effort, and you have to get everyone's kind of agreement on how you're going to do it and what you're reaching for. And it takes very dedicated, unrelenting commitment to be able to get the highest quality, and that's something that I demand of myself, and I ask of the people that I'm working with. And I know Jerry has always been that way, because we're constantly thinking of the audience. And I have to say, these guys, the entire cast, the entire crew, our director, you know, Chris McCory, who worked with us, everyone gave everything, and I think you feel that on screen, and I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to all these guys. I tell them all the time, you know, how much they mean to me and how much I respect what they did, because they got inside those jets and they were just committed the entire time. They trained hard, they had a lot of fun doing it, and every day on set they were very nice people also, I must say, very talented and just very good people, so we had a great time making it. I think that comes across in the film also, that we do care about each other.
Yes, I could tell. And big congratulations on all of you for all the success that you deserve. Well, and then to Jerry, what's your take on this whole success?
Well, it comes down to talent. It comes down to talent behind the camera, and it comes down to talent in front of the camera. We're so fortunate to have Tom, who has worked on so many exceptional movies, and he's like a sponge. He loves to learn. He's learned from the best directors, from the best actors, from the best writers.
And I learned from you, Jerry. Thank you.
Please, thank you. But he is much better at producing than I'll ever be. He's absorbed that.
What a compliment.
He's amazing. But
honor you say that.
What Tom demands from everybody is excellence. And you see it in the movie. You see it on their performances. You see it in the camera work. You see it in everything that goes on in the storytelling. Whatever you see on that screen is something that Tom has had his hand in it. And the fact that we have all these wonderful actors around me today, and the fact that we're here, is on his efforts and the efforts to make the best possible movie. And by the way, the world agrees with him, because this movie is a worldwide success. And I'm so excited that we're here to our fans and to see, where you can see it just the way the rest of the world has. So we're excited for all of you.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you.
Okay, then, anything else you want to say? Okay. I'm sure most of you have already had a chance to watch this movie at the screening for the media, and I'm sure all of you have lots of questions to ask. So we will now open the floor to get questions from the reporters. If you have a question, please raise your hand so that our staff can bring you a microphone. And please remember to ask your question in Korean. And it'll be greatly appreciated if you could limit your questions to only one per person to help give more reporters a chance to pose their questions. Thank you in advance for your cooperation. Now, if you have a question, please raise your hand. I can see some hands up there.
네, 질문할게요. 네, 안녕하세요. 한국일보 EMB 유수경 기자입니다. 첫 번째 질문이어서 좀 가벼운 질문으로 드리고 싶은데요. 톰크루즈 배우가 지금 10번째 내한이잖아요. 근데 어저께 레드카펫이 좀 어떠셨는지, 그리고 팬데믹 전후로 좀 변화를 체감하는 부분이 있으신지 궁금하고요. 내한 후에 한국에서 뭘 하셨는지도 말씀 부탁드립니다.
I beg your pardon, I can't see who's questioning. Would you mind standing up?
Can you see the panel with Q on it?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, she's from 한국일보, a newspaper agency. And because this is the first question, we're going to start off with a light question. This is your 10th visit to Korea, and you had the red carpet event last night. So tell us about your experience last night, and tell us if there's anything, any differences that you feel between before and after the pandemic in this country. And what did you do yesterday after coming here?
What did I do? Which one do you want me to answer?
So many questions, I know. Well, first of all, the red carpet experience.
Well, first of all, it's just been 4 years since I've been here, and just I could feel the energy. We all could I think we're all connecting again. So it had an added level of joy that I felt. I remember I was worried because Korea was not open and they're moving the schedule around, so I know all of us were very excited to be able to come and make it here. So I felt very excited about it, and I also felt that from the crowd. Just to be together, just to look at each other's faces and be close together and have an experience to be able to say hello. And as I told you earlier, it's, you know, I've seen people there that were at every single premiere that I've ever done in Korea. It's just a beautiful thing. It really is amazing to me. So it was magical. The whole evening, it was just a great time, just a lot of fun. We all had a lot of fun together, had a lot of fun sharing this experience.
Any post-pandemic changes that you noticed?
I mean, obviously the masks, you know, but the smiles were there and the joy was there, very much so.
What have you done after arriving in Seoul?
You know, well, we went out to dinner, we kind of toured around different places and did the premieres and spoke with you this morning. So had meals and just went around and toured, really. And just did that. Did the premiere last night. Ate the food, great food.
What kind of food, can I ask?
Oh, all kinds, you know.
Okay, sounds like you had a fun
Oh,
time.
had an amazing time.
Okay.
Always have an amazing time here.
We're gonna go over to our next question.
첫 번째 질문은 탑건 자체가 워낙 이전에도 크게 히트한 작품이라서 이렇게 오랜 시간이 지나서 다시 속편을 결심을 하기가 부담스럽고 좀 어려웠을 것 같은데 어떻게 결심하게 되셨는지 궁금하고요. 두 번째 질문은 방금 프로듀서님께서도 말씀하셨지만 연기뿐만 아니라 뭐 열정이나 매너 모든 면에서 여전히 최고라는 이야기가 나오고 있습니다. 이 긴 시간 정말 변함없는 열정의 원동력 이런 게 좀 궁금합니다.
Yes. For years, people have been asking for it. And look, I'm a pilot. I fly airplanes and aerobatics and jets, just personally. And you can see every country I would go to, they would ask for a sequel. And Jerry and I were talking about it for many years. There's a tremendous amount of pressure. How do you do it? And you can see, like an American Made and Fallout, these things, the fans were asking for it. So I would actually go back to my hotel at night and I would lay in bed and I would think, okay, what are some of the things that I would need to have in place to make this film? And Jerry and I would talk about it, and I kind of made a list of parameters on how to approach making the movie. Just from a artistic point of view, the things that I felt that we could give to an audience. And you look at American Made, you look at Fallout, I'm playing with different aerial photography, and even in my own personal life when I was flying the airplanes, I was playing with different aircraft and looking at, thinking visually what would that be like. I was thinking about character-wise what would it be like, and then how to establish it. But there was a tremendous amount of pressure, and Jerry and I just, you know, we all agreed we're not going to stop until we get it right. And how do we do it? And one of the things that we did is we did many things, but one of the things is really to sit down and understand what Top Gun was, and to give the audience, to bring them back into the world of Top Gun. That, you know, for me, I always thought I wanted someone, if they had a DVD of it, or if they could, they could take Top Gun and then it would be chapter 2 with Top Gun Maverick. So you feel the same world and the same character and trajectory and the same emotion, tone, but you know, it is 36 years later. So that's what we were always shooting for, and it was a lot of pressure. I mean, I know a lot of people and fans had asked for it, and I don't ever want to disappoint the fans. I think it has to do, honestly, with my interest in life and people, my lifelong passion for entertaining. I've spent most of my life on movie sets, in editing rooms, mixing stages, and writer rooms. And to me, it's not work. It's something that is my dream and my passion. And it encompasses everything to me about life, what I, you know, adventure, interacting with artists at the highest level. I can be a student. I'm constantly learning things. For me, what's important is to be able to travel and understand history and culture and cultures and people, and try to dramatize those things on screen to, you know, and I'm in a way that I like to tell a story or be part of a story. And so, and it's interesting, as time has gone on, my passion for it has not ebbed, it has not slowed down, it's increased. And my, you know, that's the things that I'm both always a student and teacher, and it's kind of been that way really since I was young, and I'm very fortunate. Like guys like Jerry Bruckheimer, the thing, he's an incredible producer, he's a great human being, and he was always one of the ones that was very generous with me when I was a young man making this movie, allowing me into the process. So, and I love people, and I love seeing people do well. So I think you look at my movies, it's like a lot of things. I want all of the actors to succeed. I want everyone to win. And I love telling stories. And I feel very privileged that when I think of myself as a little kid, and now here I am now, that I'm still able to do this, and I've dedicated my life to it. And it's not a sacrifice, because I know it's a tremendous privilege to do what I do, and I've never taken it for granted, ever. So that's how I feel. I mean, you know, it is my 10th time here. I hope to be here another 30 times. You know, I really enjoy, and I dreamed of this, to be able to go to places and share stories and live and learn and work together. It's just who I am.
Thank you so much for the sincere, authentic answer.
네, 톰크루즈 배우한테 질문 드릴게요. 그 실제로 제트기를 조종을 하신 건지 아니면 탑승만 하신 건지 그 촬영 과정이 굉장히 궁금하고요. 다른 배우님들도 타서 막 얼굴이 엄청 일그러지고 이런 촬영들 진행하셨는데 안전상의 어려움은 없으셨는지 에피소드 들려주시면 좋을 것 같아요. 하나 더 있는데요. 톰크루즈 배우님 한국에서 50대 중년이 된 아저씨 팬들이 이 영화를 굉장히 기다리고 있어요. 할리우드 영화를 이렇게 중년 관객들이 기다리는 거는 흔치 않은 일인데 아마 같이 나이를 먹어감에 따라서 영화에 대한 기대가 높은 것 같아요. 이 관객분들한테 어떤 기대감 가지고 있으신지 어떤 마음이신지 표현해 주시면 좋을 것 같아요.
At times I had a stick in the back in the F-18 and I was allowed to fly. And there are times, like in the P-51, when you see that airplane, I'm flying that the whole time. That airplane at the beginning of the movie, when you see it, that's a World War II plane, which is mine, and my personal one, and I fly it, you know, at the end of the film. So there are times that I was flying, times that I'm a passenger, and we're fortunate to work with extraordinary pilots. You know, and I got to fly off of a carrier, which was quite extraordinary. These aviators are incredible. You know, they loved my P-51, so I've been spending time, they've all been getting some rides in it. And these guys trained, you know, in different aircraft themselves. But I personally fly jets. I fly, you know, I have a Honda jet I fly, and L-39s, and Warbirds I fly. I fly all kinds of aerobatic airplanes, bi-wing airplanes, parachutes. If it's got a wing, I'll fly it.
Does anyone want to speak about any experience flying in the jets?
I told you guys what it was going to be like.
Tom takes us.
I told you.
Tom and Jerry, we go over to Jerry's office in Santa Monica. Tom pulls out some test footage that they had already shot, and he turns or he watches it. We watch it, and we're all like, "Oh, this is amazing! This is so cool! This is great!" And Tom turns and looks at us and goes, "You guys are going to be doing that." Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
And we were like, "What? No way! Absolutely not!" And we never had any safety concerns. I think from that moment, we knew what the work was. Like Tom was very clear in this training program that he created for us what we were going to be doing and what the steps were and why we were taking those steps to become better pilots and to learn how to fly and to learn the physics of flight and to get comfortable in the jets and sustain G's. And I think from there, I mean, it was rocky for everybody in the beginning because you were getting used to it, but from there, I think that's where we really got our confidence, was being able to do that.
Yeah, because you were also, we then had to work with them on understanding how to turn the cameras on and off, understanding the lighting, because you had to match the lighting, and understanding what the cameras are and performance and what was needed to those masks. So, and these guys they were so impressive, what they accomplished. Really, it was impressive. Fun watching you guys do it. I love being with them after the flights, you know. Did you throw up at all?
I don't know why everybody always looks at me for that. Really hurts, Tom.
Because I had to get in the jet after you.
You take it as a point of pride when you do that, because these guys, even if they got sick, no matter what, they just kept rolling. They just kept making it right.
What about you, Tarzan?
I must say having a training program was very, very important for us to have, because it became an automatic response when you're in the jet pulling the G's, along with having to, you know, turn the camera on, act, figure out lighting, work on costumes. If we didn't have that training program that Tom set up, then that's another element that you have to think about. And with the blood coming from your brain and going everywhere else, I mean, it's something that you wouldn't be able to handle.
When I did the first Top Gun, there was no training program. Jerry just threw me in the F-14 and the A4. We just went in. I was like, we got to figure this out for these guys. It was fun.
Well, and that's the really crazy part about making this movie. It was made with the Navy, so we are doing military briefings as we're acting, right? So we have to go airspeed, orientation, you know, in terms of how fast we're flying, which direction, because there's other planes in the area. So we're working with the Navy, and Tom is running these briefings. So it really felt like we were more part of the Navy than we were actors, because once you're up in the F-18, you are running all the cameras in the back. So your entire performance is up to you. Everything you do in that airplane, you are the pilot in command, which is a lot of pressure, because once you get on the ground, you have an entire crew looking all that footage, and you want to make sure you have it right. And what's even harder is when you're acting and blood is being pulled from your head, and to remember your lines when you're sustaining all these G's and just trying to stay awake. It's that you only experience that on a Tom Cruise movie.
Well, you're going to do it for yourself in your movies too. You will do it. And look, here's the thing. We would have briefings, because you have about a 2-hour briefing to brief the flight ahead of time. And essentially what I would do is I would have them in there, and they'd see how I did the briefings and how I worked. You know, we were working with the pilot, the Navy, we had safety, and then you go do your flight, and we'd come down and we would look at the footage of our flights. And basically, you know, I took them through it, and I showed them, you know, what I did right and what I did wrong, and everyone looked at it, because I wanted these guys to know that, look, I make mistakes, and to learn from my mistakes, and so that I could learn from my mistakes when we're up there. And then basically, these guys, when it was their time to fly, they ran the briefings. So they saw, so that at a certain point, it was their flight, and I wanted them to learn from it so that now they're in control and they're running the briefings. So that's what they would do. They would get to a point where, okay, now they're really running the room. And it was very exciting to see and it also, it helped them. It wasn't just, listen, it helps to develop character and story. When it's this kind of texture and this kind of detail that an audience, you can't put your finger on it, but you feel it. There's something different about it. And you feel that their characters, and every single time, each one of these guys is so full and distinct on screen that and there's an ease and a confidence that they all had. And that's the only way you get there is through work and work. And people say, how do you do it? It's like, I work 7 days a week. And you have to work it and be dedicated and be competent and keep pushing yourself on everything. I never let go. I never let up. And that's how you do it. And that's what these guys did. It was impressive. And that's where you see those performances. That's how you get it. The grown-up man, you can enjoy that film and you can cry in that movie. That's okay.
Okay.
It's for you. It's for everybody. And enjoy it, please.
저는 톰크루즈 배우를 제외한 나머지 배우들께 질문드리고 싶은데요. 이 탑건이라는 프랜차이즈가 엄청 큰 프랜차이즈다 보니까 부담감이 좀 컸을 것 같은데 처음 이 대본을 제안받았을 때 느낌이 어떻는지, 또 각자의 콜사인을 들었을 때 어떤 느낌이 받았는지 궁금합니다.
They created their own call signs.
Yeah,
I'll answer that right now. You guys can finish.
The question was for everybody else, Tom. Sure, I guess I'll go.
Go, Miles.
I was really excited when I got the part, and even just leading up to the audition, because I knew that I was going to read with Tom. When I was envisioning it, I wasn't nervous, and there's something about Tom which is so great. He's incredibly disarming, and when you're doing a scene with him, when you're workshopping a scene, whatever it may be, he treats you as a teammate, and he leads from the front, not the back. With this movie, the fact that we're all going through the same thing together, Tom is boots on the ground. He's doing everything that we're doing and more, and he does. He really wants the most for you. I think he does. He cares about your performance as much as you do. He said it earlier, but he really does want everybody to win. It was, I couldn't have asked for a better experience. You push yourself beyond what you think you're capable of. And it was a grueling, incredibly challenging movie to film. But that's what makes it that much more rewarding.
Glenn, I couldn't really hear much from you today. How did you feel about taking this role?
This is a movie I've wanted to make my entire life. I'm a huge fan of the original Top Gun. Tom is obviously one of my heroes, a guy that I've admired my whole life in the movies he's brought the world and the commitment in which he's done it to thrill audiences around the world. So to get the opportunity to get in the back of an F-18, to return to that world that really shot Tom to superstardom and, you know, kicked off an amazing career, and for him to really take all of us under his wing to teach us about how he's done that for the past 40 years. And to be able to take this privilege, which is to entertain audiences around the world, and not take that privilege lightly. He always said, pressure's a privilege. This movie, he went into it feeling the pressure, and we all worked every day tirelessly in order to make sure what we delivered the world was perfect. And we couldn't have asked for a better friend and mentor and leader. It was truly an experience of a lifetime.
Well, unless there's anyone who wants to add to this.
Yeah, I would say.
Go ahead. Go ahead. We've got plenty of time.
Tarzan, if you could ask.
Since you asked, I think the coolest thing for me was, do you have time?
We've got plenty of time.
Don't tell me that.
Hey, Tarzan, remember London.
What happened in London?
Anyways, I thought the coolest part about the whole audition process was getting a phone call saying that Tom Cruise was receiving my audition tape. And I was so excited because the guy who I grew up watching on a big screen is finally getting a chance to watch me perform. And I was like, God dang it. And it didn't matter if I booked the job or not, because I was like, man, Tom Cruise saw my face. You know, that was exciting for me. He saw me act. I was like, all right. But the icing on the cake was him picking me, man. Thank you, Tom. That is fun. Thank you, dude.
And you crushed it too, so.
I would say I had the exact same experience as Tarzan. I found out on a Friday that Tom was getting my tape. And so I was like, oh, well, Monday they're going to call and tell me I booked it. Clearly that's what's going to happen. Monday came, Tuesday came, Wednesday morning I got the call. But the entire time, all I could think about was like, in my mind, I was envisioning Tom, like, I don't know, sitting on the couch with popcorn, just like watching the tape. Like for some reason, I just envisioned Tom watching the tape and then thinking he was watching other actors' tapes as well. And to get the call was absolutely amazing. It was, yeah, something I will never, ever forget.
You crushed it. We were in Jerry's office watching, and we're like, yep.
Wow. Congratulations to you all. You all made your dream come true. Okay, then, is there anything you want to add to this, Tarzan?
Well, since you asked the question.
I keep looking at you. Okay, well.
Jerry, anything you want to add?
As said.
No, I just, again, just thrilled to be here and seeing all the press and photographers that have come out to see us. And Tom's 10th visit is really extraordinary, how much he loves being here and loves the people of this country and wants to entertain them. And I guess the real thrill for us is opening night to see all the fans for the first movie and the second one come out to see what we've all worked so hard to produce for you and for audiences. That's our thrill. Our thrill is to stand back and watch you enjoy it.
Thank you so much for the wonderful questions, and thank you for the kind answers.
And thank you for hosting us so beautifully.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We hope to see you again.
Yep. Korea, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
We can all step off the stage for the time being. After we rearrange the setting, we're going to bring you up again.